and welcome to another wonderful webisode of Constantly Cheeky with Rupert Cheek and me, Constance Quigley, and together we make up Constantly Cheeky, which is a webisode series that meets twice a week on YouTube across a vast ocean for great conversation, business advice, tips, tricks, advice, guidance, social media support, promotions, graphic design, and artist management. We focus on the music industry, but have a love of all arts. And today we would like to introduce Michael Egleton, or Michael Egleton. Pick a side. So for the world, many of you are aware that Rupert and I work together, even though Rupert is based in London and I am based in Oregon. We collaborate with one another to make sure that our artists succeed and that we are actually able to get our message across the vast ocean. In working together, Rupert and I have recently signed a new artist, and I know a lot of people have been excited to hear about who that is. And we're here to introduce them today. So our new artist, Michael Egleton, is the first to sign with both Rupert and I as a collaboration. Rupert, you've known Michael a lot longer, so I want you to go ahead and start the introduction of who he is and where we plan to go with him.
Yeah, I've known Michael online for maybe a couple of years. We connected on Facebook and or Twitter. Facebook, I think, because that's where he seems most active online. He's a singer, songwriter, pianist in Ohio in the States, and his music is broadly in the jazz and soul arena, with a hint of blues as well.
It depends on who's categorizing him, because I noticed one of the awards, when I was talking to him and getting all of the information transferred over, he is an award-winning jazz artist, but one of the awards had referred to him as adult listening. And then his album is a blues awarded album, but generally he's classified as jazz and blues or adult listening or R&B. But I think that has to do with the evolution of these genres, that he just kind of, because his sound is so unique, I think people have a hard time classifying him. So if you like jazz, if you like R&B, if you like blues, or you like easy adult listening, you might want to check out Michael Egleton. It's a pretty awesome sound.
I certainly love what he does, and he's a nice guy. He's a good friend.
How would you classify his music?
I would say it's good.
No, I meant genre.
One thing I sometimes say is that there are two kinds of music: good music and bad music. Because trying to label things otherwise is sometimes too difficult or not helpful.
Right. You know what? I like that. I have been classifying him both jazz and blues together. The words always together. But I do.
Gen B.
Yeah.
B.
Yeah, exactly. R&B and J&B with some soul, or lots of soul. One of the things that I have found so profound about working with Michael was learning his inspiration behind the music. So Michael Egleton is all about telling his story through his music, and he focuses primarily on spreading positive messages and, I don't want to say sympathizing or empathizing, but compassionately expressing from the male perspective the trials, tribulations, joys, stresses, and excitements of women. And that's his primary focus. And the reason that is because he grew up in a household full of women, and he felt like through his music he could teach men how to love in a way that was respectful to both sides. He has a really amazing interview on this online, and I'll include a link down below. But his heart is so big, and it speaks so profoundly through his lyrics, through the video development and production, and stepping into this as his manager, which is a huge undertaking. I love his team. So when he pulled me in and Rupert in, I've spent the last week on the phone constantly. But I've been talking to different team members within his existing group, and these are just some of the most vibrant, amazing, supportive, and collaborative people, and I applaud it, because that's what Rupert and I are always trying to talk about, is building your team and making sure that your team structure is solid. Why we have Mighty Networks, the social media group online, which is also called ConstantlyCheeky, and you can join us, please. But it was really nice to be able to get into this group and be talking to the photographers and the production company. He works with another amazing organization called the Blue Artist. You can look them up online, based out of Maryland. Extensive services with this organization for musicians. Extensive services. Amazing organization. I spent several hours on the phone with their executive team members. Brilliant people. They are brilliant people who are truly invested in the best interests of their artists. And I can say that not only as a manager who's looking out for the best interests of one of my artists, but as a business major and a specialist within my industry. I really loved his core focuses, the executive team of Blue Artists. His core focuses were based on the needs of the artist, and everything that he said was brilliant and strongly supportive. So if you're an artist who's looking for services beyond what Rupert and I have, you might want to check them out, because just wow. So I got wowed this week by the team that came aboard with my artist. Rupert, how are you feeling? Rupert's probably just exhausted world because he works too much. Hi, hon.
My body clock's been a bit off, and it's got back to normal, I hope, today.
Yes. So where do you see us going? I would love to see Michael Egleton in the London Art Festival.
I'd love to have him perform at the London event, but I'd like to go to Ohio first.
Right. So right now with Michael, just establishing the baseline of what we're going to do this year, with me just stepping in, we're going to run an Absolute tour. That's the name of the tour, Absolute. Insert ad here.
Soul with a U in it.
Yes. Soul with a U in it. And that tour is going to run the upper east coast of the United States of America, and then down the southeast coast of the United States of America, ending up in Florida. So starting in Ohio, all the way across Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, Maryland, Florida, that kind of thing. So if you own a venue on that little route that you would like to see us reach out, because we're in the middle of planning stages and that saves me time, and I'd be happy to support a local organization, all day long. That's my thing. Then in January, February, I will be going down to Phoenix and Las Vegas for residency. So we're thinking about maybe doing a little mini tour while we're down there, which would be fantastic. And if we're successful, when we are successful in this endeavor, hopefully Rupert can join along, because it would be great to drag him along around in the States and like, ooh, this is Vegas, here are bright, scary lights, and lots of people.
You'd have to drag me.
I don't think I'd have to drag you either. We will skip. we will gaily skip from venue to venue singing. So this is going to be a really exciting year for us and an exciting launch. It makes the London Art Festival in 2018 that much more tangible. You can see that we are checking off goals as we have these weekly discussions. You can see our growth and progression. I really love that, and I think it's amazing because we're not just sitting here talking. You actually get to see the fruitful reward of the hard work behind it. So, Rupert, on my end, I see the graphic. On your end, you don't. But over here, it explains that Cheeky Promos is Michael Egleton's promoter. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
As I've known Michael for a while, and I've been paying a bit of attention to his social media use and accounts, I can see a number of ways to help him to use those more effectively to build awareness of his music online and then offline, with you and him and his team. In showing him how important social media is and helping him to decide and think about what and where to post and how often, and try and inflect a bit of Michael into his posts, to help people to get to know him as a person as well as a musician, which is something I think is important. If you want to connect with people, you have to show them that you're a human as well as a musician. So hopefully I can inspire and assist him with being more social on the media, and kind of guiding him along the journey to being more active online and helping him to connect with more people that way.
Well, and you are also now his actual signed promoter. So when people are following you, they're going to start seeing posts from you for Michael as well, which is really exciting for both Rupert and I, because it means that we get to work even more closely together and often. But you're going to start seeing shout outs from Rupert and I, at least me, daily, for Michael Egleton and his music. He is online with a really decent presence. We're trying to build his social media presence because, well, everything Rupert just said. But for Reverb Nation, I know that for his location, he is #1 for blues. And globally, I just posted these numbers. Was it 72? He's number 72 globally.
I can't remember.
Me either, but I still think that that's a phenomenal number. Additionally, he has a SoundCloud account, a Reverb Nation account. He has multiple videos on YouTube, as well as music videos and interviews, and that's going to ever increase. I know this week alone he has an interview with myself and Rupert if he wants. to do a Reverb Nation discussion, which we promised to do on Monday, but this came up and we were finally given the okay to talk about Michael, so I wanted to do that first. So we're going to push off the Reverb Nation conversation to later on in the week, and we will have our guest, Michael Egleton, online with us discussing the benefits as an artist using Reverb Nation, which is pretty awesome, I think. And it also gives the world the opportunity to get to know him just in the way that Rupert and I know him, which is really actually profound. I'm really happy with my relationship with Michael and Rupert. Both of them are just two of the most brilliant people I've ever met, and they are deeply invested in the community growth of our investments and focuses. So yeah, and it feels fantastic. Being an entrepreneur is one of the best things in the world you can seek out. I think, my opinion. Connie says. But when you get to be an entrepreneur with a group of people who are truly invested in what your endeavors are, it changes things in a huge and profound way, because then it's not just you. You have other people who are equally invested, interested, and excited with and for you. So that's always just awesome.
I love helping people to connect through music. So building the community with a shared passion for music and people is what I find exciting.
Right. So the Absolute Tour is the one we're going to do winter. We're already starting to send off proposals and inquiries on it. The Absolute Tour was designed by Mihai Grady, my Power Music Promotions partner, and he is a tour designer, brand evangelist. So he's the one who did the tour. So if you guys like the tour logo, shout out to us there. If you pay attention to the growth of Michael Egleton online and you think that growth was phenomenal, because it's gonna be, check out Cheeky Promos for promotional services. 2 services are still completely available to the public and to anybody who's looking for it or interested. I praise Cheeky Promos all the time, and I mean it when I do it. It's not just because Rupert and I are close friends. I don't know if the world quite understands this through our conversations, but Cheeky has worked for me as well as been a great friend to me. So when I promote these companies, I'm promoting them as a client first, because I wouldn't shout out. Sorry, with Rupert sitting here, but I wouldn't shout out an organization that I didn't believe in. Period. And then over here with Power Music Promotions, yes, I am partnered with Power Music Promotions now, but I didn't start off that way. Again, I'm providing a shout out because of excellent services rendered, amazing friendships gained, and we ended up collaborating with each other in the long run.
Walk around